This episode is brought to you by Lumina Growth Lab. At Lumina, we help professional learning and development companies who are struggling with predictable lead flow, breaking out beyond their network, and a sniper approach to attracting the ideal clients, so they can have a smoother sales process, finally have scalability, and ultimately take their business to the next level. Most of the time, our clients come to us frustrated because business has fundamentally changed since the pandemic and now the disruption of AI. But with the right strategy and support, they're able to confidently add new channels of lead generation, leading to a packed pipeline that creates sustainable revenue and year-over-year growth for cheaper than ever before because of the use of AI technologies. If that sounds like you or someone you know, connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about unlocking your business's potential. Now, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Marketing Matrix. I'm your host, Lisanne Murphy, and today I am joined by the incredible and talented Cyril Moreau. Cyril, thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Guys,
Very pleased to be here.
I'm really excited for this conversation. When I had an opportunity to meet Cyril, we were smiling, laughing, talking, but also like sharing some pretty serious stuff about how he and his group of consultants is really transforming business and taking over the world. So I'm really excited to dive into his story, and his accent is charming, and so it's fantastic. So we're going to have a good time today. So let me take a moment to introduce this powerhouse man, and then we'll move forward with the conversation. Today's guest is Cyril Moreau, founder of International Executive Consulting. Cyril works directly with CEOs and leadership teams to fix execution breakdowns, unlock stalled growth, and design operating models that actually scale. Known for his hands-on, execution-first approach, Cyril embeds inside companies, navigating complexity from U.S. European expansion to turnarounds and growth plateaus, helping teams move from working hard to operating effectively. Cyril is the person leading leadership teams and, here we go. Cyril is the person leadership teams call when growth stalls, execution gets messy, and no one can quite explain why. I love it. Okay, guys, so if that doesn't make you excited, then I don't know what will. So wherever you are in your cars, kitchen or Costco, give a round of applause. We're excited to be here today. So again, thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. And, that's, I believe, like you said, since the pandemic is very important where we are, and we need to help a lot of SMBs. US, non-US, doesn't matter. They all have the same issues. So very pleased to be here with you.
I love it. So, and I love how you say, like, regardless of like the nature of the location, right? We all run into the same roadblocks when we're trying to grow. So what are some of those key roadblocks that you see in companies that you consult?
Usually, I believe you introduce, our companies and the way we work in a very, very delicate way. So revenue plateau is that's the first thing. Sales operation, consulting deliverables, they are not aligned. So they misalign in a way. So people knows there is something wrong somewhere. Usually it's not the strategy is not the issue. It's the execution. Execution is the most important thing. I wrote an article a few weeks back on our blog about that, because I believe that execution will be the trend for the next 12 to 24 months anyway. Wherever you are, in the US or in Europe, even in Asia or in GCC, it won't matter. It will be the execution the most important thing for anyone. Small,
Interesting.
medium, and large companies.
So when you say execution, is it purely just about getting the tasks done that are associated with the given strategy, or is it like companies are working on the wrong execution tasks? Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so execution is many things. Make sure you've got the right processes. Make sure you've got the right decision and the right people who owning the decision. I believe today, if you take SMBs, because that's really our niche market, SMBs is like the top founders and CEO wants to be involved in everything and doing a lot of different things. And I want to be the one making the decision about the sales and marketing machine, the one making the decision how we should negotiate the contract, et cetera, et cetera. Where when you've got a C-suite, that's where you engage these people, but you need to make these people empowered to do so, because they've got the experience, and that's what you engage these guys to do anyway. So for me, execution is very important. Process, tools, and they make sure they've got the power to make the right decision. So that's the way you will scale in kind of smoothly way, I should say.
Yeah, I love that. So when you go into a company, do you help lay out what the execution plan should be? Do you help hire the C-suite members that they need? Like what is your function?
So it's you've got different ways. We've got. I will take an example, not naming anyone, but we've got a tech company coming from Europe. They want to enter the US market. Then we define the roadmap. What will be the roadmap? Phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four. It could be even more than that. 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. We define each task with milestone, who's doing what, and with KPIs, because KPIs is the most important thing today. People are coming on board and say, "Hey, you can do this, you can do that. This is my wonderful PowerPoint," and then I go away. We don't do that. We execute. So it means once you define the roadmap, which is part of the strategy. You define as well the execution and who will be involved and who will do what in kind of, and
Mm,
with accountability, because if you don't have any ownership, you've got only accountability. It means nothing to people. So I like to be part of the team who does that, and that's why we put KPIs in place: revenue, pipeline, number of partners you will sign, etc., pilots, whatever it is. It is very important for me to for these guys to understand. Strategy is one thing. Adjust. We are based on the economics, geopolitics today is kind of the big thing, as we all know, and based on that, execution is the most important one.
yeah. So when a company is wanting to expand into the US, what are common uh, elements of
Mis-
that process that are missed? Like that are they're either like it's just not on the radar or it's missed or it's mismanaged.
So it's two or three things, and I've got some example. Again, I won't name anyone because it's not what we do. But the first question I've got is, how much money should I spend in my office? No, wrong. Step one. Step one is, do you have a market? Yes, we do. Okay, market analysis. Then after is like, do you have a reference in the US? We don't. Okay, let's use some partnership. We can open doors quicker than anybody else because they are already in the market. Then when we got the quick wins, we've got a reference, then we can scale from that. So first for me is like, do we have a market? We don't spend money to do that. We just do a market analysis on this region for this industry, etc., etc. That's the first thing. Then second thing is like, oh, I'm a very, very nice, and I can say that we are a very nice French company, and we are very successful in France, Germany, Spain, in it. We'll do exactly the same in the US. Wrong answer. You can just copy paste what you do in Europe and doing the same thing in the US, because market is completely different. The trust is different. They want something quick and easy. They want to make sure you've got some US buyers or reference, etc., etc. So doing copy paste and thinking that it will work as it does work in Europe is a wrong step again. So that's some two main mistakes, I should say, or
Yeah.
errors, or whatever you want to call it anyway.
I
So
love that. I know that this is a little bit different, but it illustrates the point really well. I was watching this documentary on when Disney decided to expand out of the US into France was the first place that they went. So they were creating Disneyland Paris, and what was really interesting is they essentially were just like you say copy paste what
uh,
was going on in Anaheim and put it in Paris. And it fell super flat. It did not do well at all, and Disney was super confused, right? Because people come from all over the world to experience Disney, but when they took Disney to the world, it didn't translate very well. And one of the things they discussed in the documentary was that you have to understand and adapt to the culture of where the location is, and if you don't do that, then it will struggle.
yeah,
And so
great.
and they learned the lesson the hard way multiple times. When they took it to, Japan, they had the same struggle. So Japan
Even
and
even more.
Paris
Yeah, even more.
and so I was like, "Oh, that's fascinating." So, like, how do you take the, the key Disney experience, but morph it to another culture? Every company that's wanting to do something similar is gonna have
And
to go through that same
and you
exercise.
got because we do, foreign companies coming to the US market because US is a huge market, number one in the world. So everyone wants a piece of it. I mean, it's part of of the the dream anyway of any companies. But if you take US company going to to Europe or going to Asia, Southeast Asia, or even the GCC region, which is completely again a completely different culture, but that's the same thing. You need to understand the culture, the way we do things in each of the country, and don't forget in Europe, you've got 27 different countries, 27 different languages, and so far and so on. So it's even more complex than what we have in the US.
Yeah, yeah, that's fascinating. So I'm really curious. So most of my, well, half of my dad is from the UK, and so I have a lot of
Okay.
family that live over in Europe, well, I guess I mean the UK is kind of like we're not Europe, but like over on that side of the pond,
Not
right?
anymore. Not anymore.
But anyway, a lot of them are even nervous to travel to the United States, like, let alone, like, do
Mhm.
business here. I'm curious if, like, you mentioned geopolitics, like, is the current climate in the US slowing down people wanting to come into the US market or not really?
So a year ago, I would have said yes. At least it was my thinking. Coming to, we knew exactly what the politics we will have in the US. It was not a big surprise. We knew exactly what we were signing for anyway, kind of for the country. So my first reaction was, okay, we will be, our new business will come from mainland, which is, local domestic business and not foreign companies coming to the US. I was completely wrong. We had demand from pretty much every part of this big map anyway, which is Latam, Europe, had, we had Southeast Asia, we had GCC region who want to expand in Europe or in the US, it doesn't matter. Europe, I mean, 90% of what we build in 2025, we will deliver in 2026 would be European company coming to the big land, the big economy, which is the US today. So I was wrong. And, I like to be wrong like this anyway. So it doesn't matter to us, but we didn't, we adapt again. Same thing as you were saying, we adapt, we adjust based on the demand of the market. So again, it was part of our offering, but I didn't think it would be the first top priority for any kind of foreign company to come to the US, but I was wrong.
Yeah,
And
no,
I'm
that's
okay
super
with that.
interesting. So are these market expansion projects, like, are they pretty long? Like, are they kind of
Yeah. It's,
short
I mean,
engagements and just, like, help them like, set up some partnerships, or is it like, no, like, this is a multi-year, multi-phase, like, type situation?
I would say you've got some milestone, but below 12 months, anyone who's saying that you can come to the US and be establish your business in the US in this current economy with, come some kind of good revenue for build and pipeline build for the next 2 or 3 years. Anyone who's saying that is below 12 months or 6 months, don't believe that because it's at least 12 months work. And that's what we do day in, day out. We are executing the strategy with these guys. We are their face, their arm, their legs, whatever you said, in the US before we're scaling the revenue when we've got reference and good pipeline. So yeah, it's a 12 months, at least 12 months roadmap, I should say.
Yeah, interesting. So, and I would imagine that, like, I mean, there's a huge opportunity to expand your business into the US, and because of the internet, it's made the lines between countries so much smaller as it is. What does the typical, like, financial situation need to look like for a company to be able to have the capital to come over to the US?
The first question I've got when people ask me, what we should do first. Should, like I said, and I need an address in Manhattan, New York, or LA, or Chicago, or whatever, or Miami. I say, no, you don't do that. You don't spend money. You need to spend money with us to help you guys to establish yourself in the US. But for me, it's like, um, if you take a startup, I'm talking Series A, B, C, I mean, Series A or B as a startups, I don't think so. You need more than 250K or 300K to establish, because then you will use that to do market analysis, getting the first quick wins, low margin in the first place because you're using partnership anyway to do that, so they can open doors very quickly. Once you've got that, you need to scale, but scale step by step. You don't need 1,000 people in sales, in SDR or marketing or whatever it is. You can do very small step by small steps. I believe that the 250K to 300K is a good starting point to have cash to be able, and is not selling what we do, but I believe if any kind of, boot management consulting firm like us will do exactly the same job at this kind of pricing range anyway. So
Huh. Yeah.
that's my belief. Because
Yeah.
the only thing we will ask these guys is when we sign big contracts, you come in and sign off if they need to anyway. So, but
Hmm.
that's the only thing.
Hmm.
And like you said, internet, you've got DocuSign, you can sign contract, on the other part of the world anyway. You don't need to be local to sign the contract. So
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. So with your business, it's do you find you're spending more energy finding companies that are wanting to come into the US, or like establishing those partnerships to help the companies come over more smoothly? Like where does your effort stay focused?
So for is two different things. So we've got an internal marketing company, a marketing team, sorry, who does help our clients. So we put a sales marketing machine in place, etc., etc. Now for us to find because we want to double or triple what we do today in terms of volume and quality of what we do. So our very focus is business development for us. So getting clients from we want to attack the Middle East region. We want to be present in Southeast Asia at one point. We want to go to the LATAM market because we believe there is something strong there and a good fit for what we do. So we're spending a lot of time as we speak on business development for ourselves anyway. So, getting agency to help us, different channels, different, revenue stream, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why we're spending the most of the time, at least my time. I've got a team to deliver and I'm spending a lot of time on business development as we speak.
Yeah, I love that. So, and are you mostly like, is that business development? Are you reaching out and making connections, or like, are you guys have campaigns running and
Yeah.
you're running ads, or like, I'm just super curious, like as a marketing
I'm
person,
not.
like,
I'm
what do you
not
guys
doing
do?
ads. Is not. I don't want to pay for ads, but I don't think so. He help a lot so far. Anyway, what we've been very successful. We're doing workshop. We've been inviting by foreign consulate in San Francisco to do workshop for company to come. What will be the best approach or framework to come to the US? We're doing LinkedIn Sales Navigator is very important for us. And what works really well as well for us is the old school way to do things, which is cold calls. So we've got a company who does that for us, setting up meetings for us with on the manufacturing industry. On the tech, I would say LinkedIn Sales Navigator would be the one who works the
That's
most
cool.
anyway. So we've got three different ways to do things.
Yeah, I love that. That's fun. That's awesome.
We're trying.
I can tell that you're really uh, you're you're very intentional about it. You're not just like waiting for things to come. You're really
No.
working to make things happen. That's good.
And I believe it's coming from, I've been working in the tech for what, 30, 35 years. And I believe when coming from this industry, you adapt, you adjust because things moving so quickly. If you miss a train, you're pretty much done anyways. Let's be open and see, you don't have answer to everything, but I love new ideas and I love to think out of the box because that's the way we're moving the more. I mean, for me, that's where I want to get our company moving forward anyways.
I love that. I love that. So, and I'm sure you've been thinking a lot about that recently, right? Because it's the beginning of the year. So, like, what are some big things that you're looking for in 2026? Like, what are you working towards?
So I would say geography industry would be our focus. So tech, we're very strong in tech. Manufacturing, we're very strong on some of the sub industry of the manufacturing, but we've got some CXO joining us in Q1 to be really focused on food and beverage. So we want food and beverage in the US, food and beverage in LATAM, like I was saying. So geography, LATAM, and we are in the discussion now with a company based in Oman, so in the GCC region, because they would like us to do a 2 hours or a day workshop, whatever, to a private equity firm and their portfolio company to see how they can expand in Europe or in the US. So that's the two main focus on top of, as usual, delivery, 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 delivery to our customers because that's why they engage us anyway. So that's the most
Yeah,
important thing
I love that.
after.
Do you get a lot of recommendations from current clients?
Not too bad. I would say
Not
we
too
can
bad.
be very bad. No, I live in the UK for 10 years, so I can use this expression. Okay. I can do this expression as mine, at least for 5 minutes. Yeah. Not too bad. Meaning we've got, we've got client for 5 or 6 years, the same client. So we always keep our clients, we're not engaged 24/7. When they need, when they've got a challenge, they come back to us and we re-engage. I like to have a phone call or lunch because I'm European, so I love doing lunch anyway with clients on a quarter basis. At least you know where they stand, where they are, the kind of expansion we try to do, the scale, or any kind of challenges they've got. So at least keep in touch. I'm not here to sell something, just to listen to these guys and see if we can help. So
Yeah,
that's the way we work.
I love it. So, and I can tell that you're someone that, like, I love how you said working in tech for so long, like, you learn, like, you gotta stay on top of things and be aggressive and try things. Is there something you're doing personally right now to, like, learn or keep the saw sharp? Like, what do you do when you
So
don't have to think?
I mean, AI is like for everybody. Okay. You need to learn, how you can use it in your benefit or the benefit of your client. So we're working with two different startups, AI, who building some kind of platform you can plug into your client, from operational, sales, and marketing, org chart, meaning HR or talent acquisition, whatever we want to call it, etc. And then it gives you some signal, if you wish. Your sales cycle used to be 9 months. Now is 12 months or 15 months. You used to your average ticket used to be 250K. Now is 50K. Whatever it is, you've got all this information, which makes your assessment when you do strategy based on the challenges quicker and more accurate in a way. So instead of spending, you've been there. I mean, you do an assessment. At one point, it was like, it's a big four. Okay. You come in for 2 months or 3 months. You interview everyone from the C level to the C suite to the first line, second line, etc., etc. And then everyone has got his own truth, whatever it is. But do you have the truth? Do you have the data because data driven, that's what we should all live for. I mean,
Mm,
today is a data is driven everything. And by using this kind of platform, you can have, I mean, instead of 2 months or 3 months to get your strategy in line, at least in line with your data, it could be a week, it could be a day, it could be 2 hours. It depends what you focus on. I mean, when you focus on sales marketing, or you focus on the operational, so workflows and everything else. I mean, AI, that's what AI does. And that's what the client wants, because before they were waiting for 3 months. Now it's like, hey, oh, what is your answer? Is now. And you have to be accurate first time, not second time. AI, you need to see AI in the right angle, right approach. I know people talking about losing job and this and that, and I know we discussed this kind of subject first time we met. I disagree with this angle. I believe if we can use AI to the benefit of the people and the company, it will make life easier for a lot of different people.
mm,
And these people will be able to do something more interesting for themselves, and maybe learning something new, etc., etc. So that's why I said, I'm sure a lot of people will say, you're wrong, that's not that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm okay. I mean, we can have a debate for days, months. I would be ready to do that. But the thing for me is, like, we're working with startups. So two startups in Europe. One is no code, low code. One is, you remember when, 20 years ago, you're coming with your product technical documentation, which is all the features of what you want to build.
mm,
With one this document, you give it to this AI machine, and they're doing all the services code. You need the developer to figure out or the flow and everything else, but they're doing everything by themselves. That's amazing. And then you've got platform. I believe, I don't know if you use this platform in the past, but you got Fathom. Fathom, in Australian company. You plug in, and then they give you the KPIs. And every week, every month, you can see if you're good on the KPIs or you're not. But now you've got AI platform that you plug into any kind of business, and then will give you the signal, the scoring, with the risk, your red, your yellow, your green, etc., on different function,
mm.
from operational to the sales to deliverables, to the delivery, sorry, to the org chart, etc., etc. And that's what AI is all about, making your life easier, and then quick decision and accurate decision. I believe that's the way I see it anyway. So I
I
could be
love it.
wrong, but
I
that's
love
the
it.
way
Do
I see
you
it.
do you personally have a favorite? I mean, I know there's so many tools out there and they're changing, and I feel like it's like a leapfrog, like there's one that's the best today, and then
Yeah.
someone else does it. But do you have a favorite any favorite AI tools right now?
Today, I asked a startup in the UK to build for us something for automation from timesheet and SharePoint for deliverables to be able to invoice in QuickBooks in the US and sending the invoice. I'm asking an agent done with I believe it will be with Claude anyway, or it's not ChatGPT, but I believe it's Claude to do reading all our email, set up meeting when being asked on email the settings so they can see our calendars and send some option stuff. I want it in the morning coming, then done. What I want as well, I ask same thing an agent to be built. So when I've got a meeting with a prospect or a client and we had, a number of meetings before in the last 3 or 4 months, then to go to our documentation on SharePoint and getting all and do me a summary where we at, what we talk about and what should be the next conversation with these guys. So at least prep time is like second
Yeah.
instead of hours. So that's what I asked these guys to do, and I will let you know when they came back to me with some proposals. So we are thinking about that because our client wants for us to go fast, to be accurate, and to not doing any mistakes. And on top of everything, we've got KPIs, so we need to deliver these KPIs. We have no choice. So using AI to make your life easier and to be able to move fast makes sense to us anyway.
I
So
love that. That's so cool.
that's
That's
what
a
we're
great
trying to
that's a
do.
great use case. I love it. And what are some of the hurdles that you guys are facing right now? Like you said, like you kind of had an estimation that growth might be slow, but you were wrong about that. Like has there been an element of growth that's been a challenge for you?
Growth and there's not being challenged, make sure we are fitting the right market. A lot of companies like, again, when you're starting, I mean, it's not our case now. We've been around for 2010, so 15 years, 16 years now, 16 years in next week, February 10. Okay. It's not on purpose, but that's the way. That's what it is. But
Happy
for me, it
anniversary.
was, yeah, thank you. The thing for us is that's why we're investing as well in company in Europe, because we want to make sure we can cover with resources, the expertise. And if we're going to food and beverage, I want the right people with us because they've got the expertise. Tech, same thing, etc., etc. Culture, we were talking about culture, so I need some European with us. We will sign up some partnership with China if we want to go to China, or GCC would be the same because culture is very important. But I believe when you're trying to create a new company, you said yes to everything. There's something's coming and you don't care. Then you say, oh, is cash coming in? That's the first one. Happy to do so. We're always trying to not doing that. I mean, we've got a branding, we've got a positioning on the market. We try to keep that positioning and that branding with us. So sometimes people coming and say, sorry, we cannot help you because that's not what we do. It's not about pricing. It's not about money or cash or whatever. That's not what we do. Simple. So today, challenges would be choose the right industry because you need to understand where the industry. I mean, we had the tariff, so it was a huge impact on many different industries. Politics, if you are part of the agri-tech or agricultural, obviously Ukraine has a huge impact on the agricultural. Today, I would say challenges would be to not accept everything, make sure we've got enough resources to deliver what we say. Because it's for me that's the most important one. Because if we don't deliver, we don't exist.
Mm,
Simple, and that's
mm,
our branding, our positioning, etc. Today, it will be to make sure we've got the right people to deliver what we promise to our clients. So it
yeah,
will be resources. So, and that's what we do as we speak. So two principal joining us and again, like you said, just adapt. So that's why we're engaging these third party marketing agency to help us to make sure we are focused on we are focusing the right industry and the right people, and
yeah,
they help us to get the demand our way, I should
yeah.
say.
So smart. I love how you're navigating those. That's wonderful. Okay, well, man, this has been so great, and there's seriously like so many directions that we could go. And I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so sad. We'll have to like have another conversation. But Cyril, it's been seriously a joy having you on the podcast today and having you share your knowledge and your a decade over over a decade of experience and what you're trying to do. And I love you. You've got a very innovative scientific mind in terms of like how you approach and solve problems. And so it's been so fun having you. And so thank you so much for sharing everything you've shared today.
No, thank you for having me. I mean, it was fun. I mean, it's like, I believe what we're living today will be very important for the next 10 years.
Mm,
I
I
have
love
no
that.
doubt. You talk about the pandemic. Pandemic was a turnaround for a lot of people, a lot of businesses. And I believe today is not about, remote or no remote, is more than that. I mean, I believe, people are very pandemic, remote or no remote. For Europe was really the case. But I believe it's more than that. And AI makes your life changing every day. So embrace it, use it, and make sure you're not afraid of it because
I love it. Yeah.
you
Don't be
need,
scared.
yeah, exactly. So use it, use it. I mean, it's one. I mean, if you think about the tech, is I believe the best and the biggest innovation we had in the last 20 years. Easy,
Mm,
easy. So
mm.
things will be different, and that's good. I
Yeah.
mean,
I love
quicker,
it.
faster. I love it.
So good. So good. Okay. Well, for people that want to get in touch with you or follow you or learn more, how do they do that?
LinkedIn is that's what we use the most. So please DM me, approach me, comment on my post. We're posting every day, so please do so. And then we've got our website, so is www.interimcsuiteservices.com. So please, and we'll be very happy to discuss engaging conversation. That's what we do.
Love it. I love it, guys. Well, I'm going to put the links to his profile as well as his website in the episode notes, so you can link out to those directly. And yeah, I love what you're doing. I love how specific it is, but how important it is, right? When someone is wanting to break into a new market, like to have their hand held, resources laid out, a pathway laid out. That's all super super important. And so I'm really happy to know you because it's a very valuable skill that you guys are putting in the marketplace.
Thank you. No, thank you very much. It's fun. It has to be fun always.
Mm, yes,
You
I
said
love it.
we laugh a lot the first time, and I love. I mean, I don't like people very stressed. I like fun, and work should be fun anyway. So
Yes, I
that's my
agree. I agree. It's a good way to live. It's a good way to live longer, at least anyway, right?
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I love it. Well, guys, for those of you listening, thank you so much for listening in today. We know that your time is valuable, so for you to spend a few moments with us means the absolute world. And again, thanks so much for being a part of the conversation, and we'll see you next time on the Marketing Matrix.